Donald Trump's first criminal trial is getting underway. 150 of President Trump's supporters protested the start of his hush money case. It could last up to 8 weeks. That's at a minimum. The political world obviously is all talking about this. Politico points out that we are not going to hear any substantive arguments, actually testimony, what the case is about, what Donald Trump allegedly did, because it's going to only meet for 7 days in the entire month of April. On 2 of those days, court will adjourn early. You know, all days are likely to be consumed by jury selection. So we probably won't even get opening arguments until May. Tom Dupree is with us, former Deputy Assistant Attorney General under President George W. Bush. I thought this was interesting. They brought in, about 100 jurors for the first, sort of selection process. Hey, can any of you be fair and impartial? Can you not be fair and impartial? Half said they couldn't be fair and impartial, which I never heard of a number that high. My question is this: how do you keep people off the jury who just want to be there so they can write a book?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. And the answer is you can't always. You can certainly ask all sorts of questions to try to smoke them out, to confirm that they truly can be impartial and that they're looking to serve on the jury for legitimate reasons. But at the end of the day, there's not really any way you can enforce it. But look, this process is moving slowly. As you note, and as the jury, Politico and others have noted, we're not going to see testimony for a while. The wheels of justice turn slowly, but keep in mind, jury selection is really a very, very critical part of all of this. And you can win and lose trials based on the jurors you select. So although it can put you to sleep, and although it's going to consume days and days for the next week or two, it's critically important and can ultimately determine whether or not former President Trump is found guilty or acquitted.
Right. Look, all he needs is one juror, right, to hold out, and he can walk out of the courthouse steps and declare his success in overcoming the thing. 500 candidates will be vetted, 100 at a time, 12 jurors, 6 alternates. Chosen is going to be how it works. Juror comments: many of the prospective jurors stretched their necks to get a look at Trump once in their seats. One woman in the second row giggled, covered her mouth, raised her eyebrows at a neighbor. Okay. How, going forward, right, do we separate the politics in the theater of court from what is a criminal case? And Bill O'Reilly was on earlier, who pointed out that in many ways what Alvin Bragg is alleging Donald Trump did, we don't quite understand. There's a lot of, indictment on the promise of getting Donald Trump for something here.
Yeah, and look, that's a real challenge, frankly, that Alvin Bragg is going to have in this case. It can be a complicated case. And when you're talking about putting forward what could be very dense evidence before jurors over the period of 6 to 8 weeks, you can't put them to sleep. You're going to have to capture their attention. And so I think the DA and his team of prosecutors are really going to have to make an effort to digest this case, to make it understandable to the jurors, to put it in plain English, and to really tell a story that captivates their attention. Because if they lose these jurors on, day 3 or 4 of the trial, it's going to backfire in the end. They have a real tough job ahead of them.
Which is sort of surprising, right? Because this does involve a porn star sex with a man who was married, who became president, and a payoff to her. And somehow we're talking about how this case is going to be boring.
Well, that's the thing. There certainly are very interesting aspects to it that I think will capture the jurors' attention. But Bragg has got to prove these business records crimes. And so he's going to have to put before them various ledgers, accounting records. We're going to hear testimony from Michael Cohen, among others, about the purpose for payments. So although there is a lot of steamy stuff that will capture the jurors' attention, at the end of the day, Bragg has got to get a conviction here. And for that, he's going to have to put on business records and make his case.
Yeah, I'm still fascinated by just who would want to sit there for 8 weeks in this courtroom if you didn't really care one way or the other, either for Trump or against Trump, and there are going to be people who are for him, or if you didn't really care about writing a book or doing TV interviews, why you would want to sit there for 8 weeks. But I guess maybe you get to be part of history. Tom, it's good to see you. Thank you as always. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider, and don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.